Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Katrina. Hello. Great to see you. And Laura, hello, hello, hello. And Claire is connecting. Welcome, everybody who is on the call, who is coming here. Hi, Claire. Great to see you. And everyone who is watching the recording as well. Hello. Oh, and Mishek. Hello, Michał. The fact that we've got the surname and surname is not a coincidence. So yes. Okay, welcome. Welcome to all of you. There will be more people joining in the meantime. And yes, to start with, we've got another person coming now. Thank you so much for coming here, for dedicating your time, and for the next 30 to 45 minutes, just spending some time here and learning about what has been happening in my life, in my client's life, and in general with the program. So before we start, I just wanted to check. Actually, I can see that people are still coming. Before we start, I just wanted to ask someone if you can tell me why you are here. Hi, Brodwin. Nice to see you. I just wanted to, and yes, and we've got Madison as well. Madison coming. I just wanted to start with a little bit of a question to you, my lovely people. What is the reason for you being here? Is there any particular question or thing you are thinking about, or anything what you are curious about with that call? Anything you are looking for? Is there anyone? You can just wave. You don't have to put your hands up. You can just wave your hands, and then I will see you as well. Unless if someone is, if you are not willing to share, then we will be taking some shares. Madison, yes, fantastic. Please share. Take a microphone. Hi. So great to see you.
Lovely to see you. I'm sorry I was a minute late. For me, I'm coming along for help with emotional eating, just constant. If I'm feeling down or things are stressing me out. So that has been a lifelong drama for me. So really, I'm just here to see how I could get some help around that.
Oh, fantastic, and welcome. A very, very exciting time in front of you. Not only today, but in general. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to share why you are here? I know that's why some of you are here. So we will be hearing from you later on. So let's just start. So for everyone who's here and everyone who's watching and recording, thank you very much again for your time and the time you are dedicating. So my name is Anna Strożek, and I'm a psychonutritionist and also a founder of the program called Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind. Some of you might know my story, some of you might not know my story, so I will just say a little bit about myself. My struggle with emotional eating, even if I had no idea that it was emotional eating back then, started probably when I was a very early, very young teenager. And back then, the diets, we are talking about 90s or mid 90s, the diets were not that popular, or at least not for me. However, when I was around 11 years old, that was the first time when I started doing something around or about my body, simply because I noticed that the fact that I was overweight child was a massive problem, and I got bullied a lot at school because of that. And I really wanted to do something. So diets was something, or elimination diets, or I remember some specific ones which were popular back then. That was something what I really put a massive hope towards achieving whatever my goals were. I didn't even know what it meant. I just wanted to get slimmer by a particular time. And I didn't realize that that was the beginning of something what lasted for over 25 years after that. because the binge eating, the yo-yo effects, the trying every single possible diets in the world and not eating for days or drinking just juices, you can choose. You can choose which one you want, because I think I have gone through pretty much all of this, and I never realized how much of an impact it had on me and on my life, because I was the person who I was overweight when I was a teenager, and then when I was in my 20s and 30s as well, I was losing 10 kilograms or 20 kilograms and gaining 15 or 25. So throughout my life, I'm sure that I've gained, I don't know, 150, and then probably lost 150 as well, or maybe 200. But that was the thing. I didn't realize that emotional eating back then and binge eating was totally impacting my life, but not only my social life, but my health, my confidence, everything, every single part of my life was actually driven by that. Because what I was doing for most of that time was also keeping all of this as a secret, because binge eating was something what was the biggest secret of my life, and no one knew that. And even my wonderful brother is here, and he only found out about it a few years ago, actually, when I started doing this work. And I was always the one who was hiding the proofs of what I've eaten. And the more pressure I could feel during studying, when I was studying for the exams, I never realized why there were particular moments in my life when I was putting more weight. And it was when I was studying, or then when I was working, when I had a stressful time around work. That was the moment when I would always put on a lot of weight. Before summer, or before any holidays, or before any weddings or other occasions, then I was going down. And then the moment I hit kind of the target which I set myself with, then I was putting it back. And long story short, wardrobe in probably around 3 different sizes, because I was never sure if for this summer I lost a little bit of weight, what's gonna happen after the summer, or what's gonna happen next summer. So I was always keeping the clothes in just for different options. And actually not even the most terrible thing, but what I realized that was that at some point I actually felt like I deleted around 15 years of my life from my memory, because I never allowed anyone to take pictures, because that was the impact of of how I looked. I was just ashamed of my body. I was avoiding social occasions. There are some of my friends on this call as well. And in the past, I would find some ridiculous excuses not to go to a party or not to go to visit them, simply because I was just ashamed of how was I looking. Even if I knew consciously, I knew that the people who I was going to meet were very, very close people to me, and they would never comment on how I was looking. But I was just so afraid, and that disappointment, that constant judgment in my head, that was something what was holding me back. And this is something what really resonates with lots of my clients. It's literally putting a handbrake on your life, and putting it in a perspective that, okay, if I lose 10 kilograms, I will start buying different clothes. If I lose 15 kilograms, I will start dating. That was a long story for during my life, to be honest. Not anymore. And Ian is on this call as well. But I literally put myself in that prison where every single thing was determined by how I look and how much I weigh, or what number is on the scale. And just to show to some of you that I'm not saying something what is just a story, I wanted to share a picture of me. Some of you, the one of you who know me from the past, you will remember Anna on the left-hand side. Amazing. I love both of those Annas. I really do. But the one on the left-hand side, she was just so extremely lost. It's incredible because she when I was back then, and that's something what really resonates with my clients. It feels like there is not too much me in me, even if size wise I'm big or I'm bigger. There is not too much me because I'm just ashamed of everything what I'm doing. I wouldn't be admitting too many things. And then the difference between those pictures, to be honest, there would have been a lot of different pictures, but I just deleted them. The one on the left hand side, I needed to ask my friend to send it to me because I was just too ashamed of having them. But the reality is that the moment I've made the decision that, okay, I've tried every single possible thing in the world, but there is something called psychonutrition, and there is a person who is saying that, okay, if you've tried everything in your life, please just give yourself the last chance and make a decision. Because if you really want to get to the bottom of what is happening, what is causing all of this, that might be the solution. And I took the leap of faith a few years ago, and my goodness, I would never, ever, ever go back to what was before, because I didn't even realize what's possible on the other side. So the impact of that. Lovely Claire, who is on this call, I quoted you, Claire, some time ago when we had a conversation a few weeks back, and you said that you can hide the wrappers from all the chocolate you eat, but you can't hide the effect it's got on your body. And it's such a powerful thing, because that's exactly how I lived my life up to 4 years ago, when I was thinking that more things I hide from others, they will not notice. But the reality is that in my head, that shame and guilt and trying to be a perfectionist because I wanted to hide the small things which I was doing wrong, that was something what was just showing the results outside. So the moment I found my psychonutrition, I realized that my psychonutritionist, I realized that I had all the knowledge in the world what to do, but I just didn't know how to do this. And I never learned about any mindset. I never knew what subconscious was. And only when I started doing this work, I learned that, okay, everything what we think about is in our conscious mind. So we can make a decision to change the behavior, and we can take the diet, follow it for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. We can change that behavior. But if we don't change the thoughts which are behind that behavior, we will never be able to make permanent changes. And that was the thing which completely blew my mind, because I realized that if we want something to last for a long time, if something needs to be sustainable, first of all, we need to like it. And second of all, it needs to be doable. Because if we limit ourselves all the time, if we just follow some weird restrictions, how long can we follow this for? Not for a very long time. And definitely it's not a pleasure. So that's the reality. This is what started with my work. And within the first few weeks, it felt like, oh, life was going to be completely different, because I never realized that this psychology was so important behind that. So then I decided that, okay, it's amazing. I can see some results, and this is something what is definitely changing so many different areas of my life. So it's time to start doing this with other people. And for the last 2.5 years, I've been a part of a lot of different projects. And this year, after working with hundreds of women and men as well, I've decided to start doing this as the program, which you can see here, Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind. But all of this started with the decision that I just have enough. And I realized at that point that my past and my future, they have nothing to do with each other, unless I just allow my past to dictate my future. I can just literally stop something, start realizing things, and start making those changes, and everything else will follow. Because what happens with the body is not like we fail the diets or if we have some, if we are overweight, or it doesn't even matter if we are overweight or not. If we have emotional eating or we eat a lot, everyone thinks that this is the reason for all the problems. No, this is just the result. The reasons for all of that are somewhere deeper inside, and this is what all this work is about, just to get to the bottom. But I can talk about it for a long time. But I think the best option and the best people to talk about it will be actually my clients who have been enjoying the program for some time, or some of them have already finished. So Laura, if you please can just share your story and just tell us what was happening before the
Hi,
program.
everyone. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you know, my entire life has been a complete miserable yo-yo, really. I remember growing up with my mum being on a diet. I'm 47 now, and my mum has been on a diet since I could speak, you know, and everything was completely oriented to what you look like. Have I put on a pound or taken off a pound? So that was kind of always there for me. So that was information I guess I was drip fed from a baby. But I never really noticed or had any weight issues until I had quite a severe trauma about 19. And that's the first time I ever put on masses of weight. And I remember, just like Anna mentioning, hiding food, and just absolutely binging. And that's kind of been a pattern of my life ever since then. You know, things get better, I shrink. And I have been a size 8, 16, 18, 12. It's just been a constant up and down. The last 5 years, in fact, I think I completely gave up, to the point that I wouldn't even leave the house. It's not agoraphobia, but just this unbelievable weight of shame I've carried round because of what I look like. I wouldn't go to a shop. I mean, I'd use Deliveroo's, but that's fine because it's takeaway food. It's crap that I can shove down my face. My level of alcohol intake, well, I was a functioning alcoholic, basically. Anything I could do to push feelings down and just not let them appear, but it's a cycle, and then you bash yourself over the head for eating too much, and it's just absolutely, yeah, it's just a debilitating, horrible mess. But I did make a decision that I need to change it, and along came lovely Anna, I was introduced to. And I was very skeptical at first. I think, if you remember, Anna, after the first session, after this one, I think I went, actually, can we have a call? I think we need to do one-to-one, because I was just so terrified of being in an environment with other people. I think it's just fear of judgment and all that kind of thing. But, you know, she's like, right, give it a go. So, yeah, that's what I've done. And wow, I think this is 4 weeks now. I just feel like that person 4 weeks ago is completely different. I don't even recognize that. This is something that I just never thought was possible in a million years, that I would feel this way. And it's through just simple techniques that, do you know what, I'm dropping weight like no tomorrow. I think I've done 9 pounds in 4 weeks, but do you know what, I don't even think about that weight coming. It's almost like a byproduct of everything else I'm doing. So yes, I'm doing a weekly weigh-in, but my focus isn't what I'm eating, what the numbers are on the scales. It's just more about having a completely positive outlook and focusing on all the things that I can do. And just, it's almost like someone's turned the light back on. All the stuff that comes up, I've got the tools to deal with now. But you don't know what you don't know. So how could you possibly know how to deal with all these feelings that come up without the tools? If nobody's told you how, well, you can't. And this is what this program's given me, is, you know, basically another lease of life. So thank you, Anna. I love you. So that's
thank you, Laura.
But this is just the beginning. So goodness knows what will be 3 months' time. Who knows?
Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much. It was so amazing. Exactly as Laura said, it's been 4 weeks, so we still have another 2 months to go. And that was, I think, after 2 weeks, Laura, when you sent me a message saying, I'm just coming back from the swimming pool.
Oh yeah, exactly. I got in a swimming pool. I've been hiding my body from everyone. I don't even know what happened. I just went, got it all out, swam, and it was an epiphany. Do you know what? I didn't care, and guess what? Nobody else cared as well. And the energy I had, everyone was like, "Oh, morning!" And it was like I started chatting to all the lovely old people in the pool at 6:30 in the morning, and it's just a beautiful thing. Love it.
Oh, this is just incredible, and congratulations, Laura. And as I said a few days ago, this is just the beginning.
I
So
know,
yeah, but your transformations has been absolutely phenomenal. So, and thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited for everything that will be coming. So yes, oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Mazili, she is an incredible client of mine and a beautiful friend of mine as well. And yes, so Laura is doing program now. Mazili has finished the program. So hello, my love. Thank you for coming.
Hello,
If
of
you-
course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. If you can just share what was happening before we met on the program and what is happening now, it would be fantastic.
Yes, of course. So I want to start with saying that before starting Anna's program, I actually thought that I didn't have any issues with emotional eating whatsoever. I have always looked at myself or seen myself as someone that is healthy, that looks after herself, that is always trying to eat healthy. And however, throughout the program, I started analyzing, and every single week after the Wednesday call that we had together, there were new things coming up. So one of them was the fact that how I started bringing pain into myself by emotional eating. And how that went on was because I have always had, since about 10 years ago, I've always had this issue with gluten and dairy, and I knew that. But of course, the mind plays tricks, as we know, and I would always say, well, no one is going to tell me that I don't need to have that, or no one is going to say to me that I can't have it. So I would have it anyway. And what that did was basically to bring pain to myself. So I was in constant pain. I was always with stomach problems. I had a lot of bloating all the time. I was feeling generally unwell. But because my commitment to stay with, I can do it, I want to eat whatever I want to eat, was stronger than feeling better for myself and knowing that this is, look what I'm getting, what I'm putting into my body. And then I was actually, instead of feeding my body, I was feeding my mind, which is what your program is all about. So what that led me to was also that I started linking the eating habits with bringing myself pain, because I was also not feeling great in other areas in my life. And this is when I realized that, oh my goodness, this has 100% to do with emotional eating, which I couldn't see before. Because for me, it was, oh, well, whenever there was something going on and I wanted to treat myself, what did I go and eat? Gluten and dairy things. Because for me, it was, you're telling me I cannot have it, I will have it. But then through your program, Anna, and I'm forever thankful, it's because what I've done is to realize that I was actually putting poison into my body, and that was bringing more and more like lack of sleep, lack of well-being, lack of self-motivation. And then also it would then say to my mind that, you see, I told you so. You cannot do it. You're always the one that brings the bad stuff to you, and then it was basically going into a spiral. So I think that's the main thing that I have got from this program. And then also the fact that I just feel so much more empowered, because I know now that whenever I see the other day, when I was telling you, whenever I see anything, like either there are pastries or there, because that's my biggest thing. I love a nice pastry, like fresh croissants in the morning, things like that. For me, that was, and because I had so much love for it, I didn't want to I didn't want to accept that I couldn't have it. So I just kept bringing pain into myself. But after your program, slowly, I started looking at it, and then I would look at that, and I would look at fruit, and I would look at other things that would actually make me feel better. And it came to the point where I could actually be in a room where we were having breakout areas or whatever at work, or if I was out somewhere, and or even on being out for dinners, and then having to say, does anyone, when the waiter comes or the waitress, does anyone have any dietary requirements? I would be like, no, I'm not going to be the one that says that I have dietary requirements, because I don't need to say that. I don't want to be a burden. And now I'm like, yes, I don't have any dietary I don't have dietary requirements. I don't eat gluten, and I don't eat dairy. And then for me, that has completely changed my life, because your program makes you realize that you can actually have power over what your choices are, and then how they make you feel when you start having this power over your mind. And it has completely changed my life. I can honestly say to you that I can have thousands of pastries there, and then have fruit or a smoothie or whatever, and I look at the pastry and I'm like, yeah, no, not today. And then I just go, for and it's just like such a freedom. It's just the freedom behind it. And that's what I got from your program. It's changing my life. Everyone, like people that I'm meeting, and they're like, oh, Miss Lily, would you like a pastry? No. And then they're like, but you love pastries. I'm like, no, I love them, but they don't love me very much. So I can just basically go and do and eat healthier, which is amazing. So life-changing stuff.
Thank you, Mazili. And yes, if I remember in the beginning when we started, and just for everyone else, we literally just finished 3 months 2 weeks ago. So it's it's something that change was really, really quick as well, within 3 months. And that role which food is playing in our life. I remember in the beginning when we were talking, are you nourishing yourself or are you punishing yourself? Yes. And it was like, no, I'm nourishing myself and everyone. And I was exactly the same. It's like, we are just oblivious to this because we don't know what we don't know, as Laura said. And it's beautiful what is happening. And you are also a great example to say that working on the mindset is something what is really necessary for any type of eating or any type of lifestyle to be possible. Because the thing is that every time when we start a diet, we will have that mindset that there is a scarcity, something is taken away from us, there are limitations. But now, because the control, it's literally you are in charge. The control is inside of you. The control is not out there with those cookies or those pastries in your case, which are saying, eat me. And now you can choose what you want to do. And that's why it's so crucial to do the work on mindset before we choose any diet. So thank you, Mazili. It's amazing. You've been incredible, and thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Beautiful. I have one more person here to share if you would love to hear. It's Claire, and Claire was in the group with Mazili. So Claire finished the main program recently. And Claire, please, hello, and thank you for being here. Please just tell us what was happening before and where are you now?
Okay. So I've written sort of 3 pages of things that I want to speak about this evening, so I'll keep it as brief as I can, because I am like a bit like Mazzilli and the other lady, Laura, completely blown away by the difference that this program has made in actually quite a short period of time. So I have probably overeaten for about 20, 25 years. Not as a child, mainly as an adult when I became a nurse. That started kicking off lots of emotional difficulties for me. And I turned to food to deal with them. And since then, I have literally tried. I've got them written down here: fasting, slimming clubs, coaching, counselling, retreats, books, a health coach that cost me thousands. You name it. I've literally spent thousands on trying to fix myself around eating. I've done self-development for years. I've done therapy, you name it. I've tried everything. Nothing's really worked or has lasted for very long. So things have sort of, you can lose a few pounds and then it goes back on. And I've never really dealt with the psychology side of it. And so prior to starting on this program, I was very despondent. I was overeating all the time. It was usually late at night when nobody was around. It would be in the car when nobody was around. So it's all quite secretive places, or at work if nobody was in the office, it's sort of like nibbling things when people weren't looking. There'd be wrappers everywhere. There would be trips down to the 24-hour shop at midnight, 1 in the morning. Lots of overeating at night. I could usually do quite well till about the evening. So during the day, not too bad, but the evening times were really, really bad. And it would, I'd be doing, I'm sure some of you can identify with this, but I would be grabbing bars of chocolate on my way home from work, but not a bar of chocolate. We're talking a bar of chocolate. And it would be gone by the time I got home. And then I'd feel like I hadn't eaten anything because it would have been hoovered up while I was driving and distracted. So then I used to get really angry because I was like, well, I can't eat it again. I'll just have a massive sugar crash and die. So it was just, the binging wasn't even satisfying in any way. It was just habit and it was emotional. So, and I'd got to that point of going, do you know what? I'm always going to be fat. I'm always going to be a mess around food. It's just the way life is. And then a friend of mine introduced me to Anna and the program. And I was like, yeah, right. 1 hour a week on Zoom. No, I don't think so. That's not going to work for me. But I thought, you know what? Let's get, because I do spend all this money on things. Yeah, that's fine. We'll give it a go. And literally at week 2, shame and guilt had disappeared. I have no idea what you did, Anna. She got out this little wand on the first session, and shame and guilt just disappeared. And I think the compassion around the coaching is huge for me. And it was almost like there's no room for guilt and shame because you're not made wrong in any way. Anna's been through it. She's shared her story. I knew that you look fantastic now and you look fantastic then, but obviously there was stuff going on inside that you were hiding, which very much mirrored my story. So I didn't feel any issue with sharing the truth of what was going on for me. And I think because in the first few weeks it was very much just observe what's going on. You don't have to make any major changes, which was great for me because I had quite a few last suppers. And I found that initially my behaviour didn't change, but my attitude towards the behaviour changed. I just didn't feel guilty, which meant I was actually enjoying the food rather than shoveling it in. And it was going down. And then after a few more weeks, throughout this program, I've sold a flat, and selling a flat for me is one of the most stressful things. So I've sold a flat. I've given up binge eating pretty much, I would say, by 75, 80%. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I was like, it's going to happen for you, but not for me. So you'll all get it and I won't. And I've got it. And, and my binges now, they're nowhere near what they were. They're nowhere near. I don't go out at 12 o'clock at night and go and get something. I consider what I'm going to eat. If I really want something sweet, I sit and I think, what can I have? And I will look around for something that is the least destructive thing, which before I wouldn't have done that. So that's a change for me. I now taste healthy food in a very different way. For me, a bunch of grapes is so much more tasty than chocolate. I actually feel hungry. So I now know what hunger feels like because I didn't before, because I was constantly grabbing. I don't grab for food. I plan more. I don't eat for stress. I've lost 10 pounds, which again, like Laura said, is it been a side effect rather than a goal. I've just been on holiday for 10 days with family in a small caravan and lost a pound. So I'm very proud of that. I feel I can say no. I don't have a drama anymore around food, and I do not have a drama around saying no. I'm just like, oh no, I don't want that, thank you. And that's it. End of conversation. I just enjoy food. And when I was on holiday, I had chocolate and I had ice cream, but because it wasn't a binge, I really enjoyed it in a way that I haven't done for so long. And I'm not dieting and I'm not counting calories. I'm not writing my food down. I know how to eat. It's just doing it. And I think for me, just one last thing I'd like to share. It was just really going right back to basics and going and saying to myself, you don't know how to eat. Let Anna teach you how to eat. I went back to baby steps, back to basics, and I don't know what it is. Just the coaching for me is very profound because there is no make wrong in the coaching at all. So when I went on holiday with family, I was worried about like losing my progress. And Anna was just like, you're away with family, Claire. Enjoy yourself. If you want to have a couple of extra things, it's fine. And I've come back and I haven't gone back to square one. I haven't gone back anywhere. Just back on track today. But yeah. So
fantastic.
Oh, there's so much more I could share. I just want to share it all, but I can't. But
Thank you, Claire. Thank you so much. And I remember I think it was for the first 2 weeks. And then actually it was a little bit more when you were saying, everyone else is going to get it. I'm not going to get it. It's like, absolutely. I'm not going to get it. Everyone else will get the results, not me. It's been such a pleasure because the thing is that resistance is a normal thing. And I think I had resistance as well. That's a normal part in the beginning of the process. And it's literally the conscious mind, subconscious mind. Conscious mind is like, yeah, I want to do it. And subconscious mind is like, I have no idea what I'm going to get on the other side. This is scary. No, don't come here. But then the power of working on subconscious mind and changing the mindset. And all three of you ladies, you are brilliant examples of showing how to be back in charge. And actually you are the ones who are making choices now. And that's why this is the way which is sustainable, because it's just gonna be like that now, and the results will come.
Can I just say one last thing, Anna? The people who are out there thinking this is going to be really hard, it absolutely is the easiest thing I think I've ever done. I honestly thought it'd be like stepping off a cliff and smashing into the ground, and it's been like stepping off a cliff and then just being very gently lifted down. It has not been difficult or restrictive or painful in any way, which I'm just astounded by.
Thank you. And I can see Laura and Vasily nodding their heads.
I'm going to turn myself off.
Thank you so much, Claire. Thank you for sharing, and thank you everyone, and thank you for listening as well, because I'm sure that a lot of those stories definitely resonated. Each one of the stories from the ladies resonated with me. There are so many shameful things I've done with food and with my body throughout my life. And it was always the reason for punishing myself. I was punishing myself by criticizing, and I was punishing myself with food. It's like literally just not to feel any of those emotions. But this is what it was, and this is what's possible. So yes, I will very briefly just say I will take some questions. If any of you have any questions, please just share them. I will just tell you very briefly about the program. You can see what the program can do. for any more details, I will be speaking to all of you, and also when the recording is shared, there will be links to book a call with me, a discovery call, to get more details. The program lasts for 3 months. As the girl said, we see each other once per week. And this is 1 hour Zoom Zoom coaching sessions, which is recorded, and you've got access to that recording throughout 3 months. The next program starts on the 26th of September, which will be Tuesday. So we are going to have Tuesday sessions. And also some additional things come with this, like the Facebook group and WhatsApp group for more commitment and more accountability, and also for support. Because what is a crucial part of this program as well is the fact that everyone is in the same story. We are sharing the same opinions, the same parts of our story, but everyone is in the same conversation. That's why there is no shame or there is no guilt, because we all know what it means to feel absolutely the worst, but also we all find out what it means to feel absolutely the best in the world. And that freedom, this is what is the most important product of this work. The freedom that you can make choices, the freedom when you get more time in your head, because you don't have that shame and guilt you keep thinking about and feeling all the time. What Claire mentioned, I remember her saying after few weeks, it's like, what am I supposed to do with all this additional time now? Because I don't feel that shame all the time, and I don't feel about, and I shared exactly the same. It's like, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to eat, what I shouldn't have eaten, where am I going to exercise. So this is the power. It's literally the time, the self-confidence, the freedom. Those are the actual products of all of this. So the exciting part of all of this, because I'm sure that lots of you will be asking, okay, so what is the price for that Claire shirt? How that she spent a lot of thousands during her journey on trying to get something, and she didn't get there. The reality is that we are talking about something what is completely life-changing, and you might be thinking, my goodness, the price of this is going to be really, really high. I wouldn't be able to get it. But the reality is that for 3 months program, the price is £300 per month. And because I love summer and we are approaching the summer bank holiday, I've decided for everyone who registers for the program today, or anyone who registers, who watches this on the recording and registered by the end of the bank holiday weekend, I'm giving you a gift of £50 off the first month. So you can enjoy that summer even more than what it is now. And yes, I will be taking some questions. If any of you has any questions, you can wave at me again, or you can just raise your virtual hand. One of those 2 options. I'm just looking at everyone. If there are no questions, I'm sure I will be in touch. Katrina, you have a question, please. Take it away, Mama.
Tuesday sessions. What time is the session, please?
Sessions are at 7. Great question. At 7 p.m. So they are from 7 till 8 p.m. and they will be recorded, and you will have access to them from a day after that.
Every Tuesday for the 3 months.
3 months, yes. So it's 12 weeks. Yes, fantastic. Thank you. That's a very good question. Any more questions from anyone? If not, Michał or Michael, you are waving your head, please. Just to let you know, Michał is my younger brother. So he's the one who was witnessing me without even knowing that I was being cheated for most of my life. Hello.
Hi, hello everybody. Thank you for sharing the stories, ladies. Very inspiring. I have a question, Anna, to you. How many people are in the group?
Oh, it depends. Very good question. It depends, but the group are kind of the good size that everyone can actually participate. So it's somewhere between 10 to 30, and it might be different. So every program has different number as well. And also for I know that I had some ladies who were saying, okay, I really want a small group. And then they came to me, if it was group over 20 people, and they came to me, this is so great that there are so many people, because every time when someone shares, it's like, this resonates. Oh, this is my breakthrough. Oh, I didn't think about that. So yes, so it's absolutely fabulous. So yes, thank you, Bishek. Any more questions from anyone? I'm just looking if anyone is waving. No. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I will be in touch with all of you who registered for the call. You might be here, you might not be here, and also every person who watches this on the recording. I will put some links to make sure that you can be in touch with me if you want to talk about the program. And yes, for now, that is it. Thank you so much for coming here, for listening. Thank you for sharing. And this is the time. This is the time to make a decision and to start living our lives, but our own minds, not by the defaults of our minds. Thank you all, and I will see you very soon. Mwah.
Thank you.